Yo, 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 what is up, everyone? We're gonna let the live come up a little bit. I see we've got some viewers in the chat. Drop something in the chat if you want to say what's up. Welcome to HBCU FC TV. Let's get it, y'all. So excited. We're gonna let a couple more people come up in here before we get started. Yo, if you are in here, drop in the chat. Let's go. I see you in the chat. What is up? What is up? What is up? Welcome to the first episode of HBCU FC TV. Wow, this is great, y'all. Well, I won't keep this too long. My name is Raymond Brooks, and I am the host of HBCU FC TV today. I hope everyone is doing well, and welcome to the HBCU FC Show. This is something that we have been working on for quite a while now. We started back in October, and this is now going to be our second season that we are covering, but this one is a little different because now we have the live. If you are new here to HBCU FC, let me just tell you a little bit about who we are. So before we get into this, just talking a little bit about this first episode, we wanted to give everybody a little background on just what HBCU FC actually is. So if you did not know, HBCU FC is a digital media marketing company that promotes, restores, and educates the community on historically Black college soccer. In today's society, you see all on the big screens, all the major schools. You see the big SEC schools, the NIA, the NCAA, all the big name schools, but you don't see HBCUs, let alone soccer. In today's society, soccer is the biggest sport in the world. There's no reason why HBCUs should not be getting covered on this. And that is why we're here trying to build this platform centered around HBCU soccer. So here we're seeing the problem of trying to get consistent coverage on either of these games. It can be results or just even HBCU news. We have a lack of exposure when it comes to this. So our goal here at HBCU FC is just to grow the visibility surrounding the HBCU soccer space and just giving the fans something to follow up throughout the season. Speaking of that, one of the biggest things we were already been able to build was the HBCU FC Classic. This was the first ever HBCU soccer tournament for HBCU students. This first one was open up to all players across the U.S. We had players across these different HBCUs competing in a six-a-side tournament, competing for over $7,000 in cash prizes. We had a 7v7 mixed tournament. It was co-ed. We also hosted a 1v1 tournament, so you had another chance to win money in that as well. And what was really cool about our tournament is that we took some of the best players in the tournament and they got to play in an all-star game against our semi-professional team here in North Carolina called Sayward FC. If y'all did not know, HBCU FC is actually located here in Greensboro, North Carolina. So I know we are heavy on the digital side, but we are low-key here in North Carolina. So just to get us started, let's go over the scores of the week. Let's see if y'all can see that on the chat. Let's see if we can get the scores of the week. Let's start off with the women's teams. It was a very good, interesting start to the season. It's still kind of in that preseason era / a little bit of like spring season. So most of these schools aren't deep into their season yet, but let's go over some of the match results that happened from this past week, August 10th through August 15th. As you can see, Alabama A&M faced off against SIUE, and they lost 1-2. And Hampton Pirates played against Indiana, also losing as well. Oh, it looks like we had a change of screens. Perfect. So, yeah, it looked like Alabama losing that first game, and same as Hampton as well. Jackson State had a close one, too, against Mercer. These were all pretty much very close games. As you can see as well, Prairie View A&M had a sad loss against Incarnate World, but it is all good, y'all. Again, these are just the preseason games, so we are not expecting a full turnaround within these seasons. You know, people are just getting into school. You're trying to get adjusted. Like being a college student, I was a college athlete myself. Going into that first beginning season, it was kind of hard trying to figure out, you know, dang, we're really back in the mix, you know? So along that, we had Alcorn State versus McNeese, which was a loss to Alcorn. And then another close game as well. It seems like these first couple of games were all in a 1-goal differential, so not too bad. And, you know, soccer is already a low-scoring game itself, so obviously these games were heavy in the competition. I also see that Grambling, they've lost as well to East Texas A&M. On the turnaround side, we do see the first win on the HBCU women's soccer side, which is Texas Southern. Shout out to those Lady Tigers. Also, you see they played against UT Rio Grande Valley, catching that wonderful 2-0 win. Shout out to those keepers for having that clean shutout. This was really interesting because it shows that in these first couple halves, it's anybody's game, you know. So let's now tune into last coming matches. Let's go over what that was. I hope everybody who is watching this is having a wonderful Saturday morning. I know I am here on this side. Our team has been prepping so much. Y'all don't understand. We're really trying to put this into a space to where we're able to provide this on a weekly basis and give y'all the opportunity to see what the whole world is missing out on. HBCU soccer. I will say we are now going to go over the next couple matches from August 16th through the 22nd. So these will be the upcoming matches next week. So on the women's side, it looks like Alabama State is going up against Presbyterian. After that first week of games, I hope Alabama is ready to come and work for this next one. They had a really good season last year, and we are just looking to expect some of those results the same for this season. It looks like as well Alcorn State is going up against Louisiana. That is going to be a very interesting game. Excited to see Texas Southern go up against Houston Christian as they are already getting the ball rolling, moving on to this first win. Talladega versus Oxford College at Emory is always going to be an interesting game to watch. I see over here that we have Howard versus George Washington. This will be a very interesting game in the mix. Alabama A&M, again, going up against West Florida. And then you have Alabama State running it back against South Alabama. A lot of these schools up here are going to be competing in the same conferences. You have the CIAA, NIA, and you have all these different conferences, the HBCU AC, the SWAC conference, all these different conferences where you'll be able to tune in and keep up to date as well. So if you aren't watching it from our platforms, you'll definitely be able to see it as well. Also coming up next, you see that we got Harris Stowe versus Iona Kokomo. That's going to be a very good start-off game for Harris Stowe. We're looking to see how they come off for this first season going off in the women's season. I see we have Prairie View A&M versus UT Rio Grande Valley. We just saw UT lose already to Texas Southern. Let's keep that ball rolling on the HBCU side of dominating these schools, y'all. I'm very excited to watch y'all as we go throughout the season. Looks like we got Southern versus Florida Gulf Coast. That's going to be a very interesting game to watch as well. And then you have some Arkansas Pine Bluff. Yes, UAPB versus Wiley. This will be a very, very interesting game. Just seeing how Wiley has came off of their season last year, and also UAPB coming into this new season, coming with some direction. We are also curious to see Delaware State again. We were on our radar last year, keeping up with them throughout the season. They'll be playing against Iona. And then you also see FMU, Florida Memorial University, going up against Weber International. If y'all didn't know, on August 22nd, the first major invitational, the HBCU Invitational, is happening August 22nd on Saturday. It will be Howard University competing against Hampton. If I am correct, they will be competing at the Audi Fields, and it's one of the nicer stadium facilities where you'll be able to watch this game in an elevated style. I am all for quality pitches. Drop in the chat if you like watching soccer on the grass pitch or on the turf. Personally, I like watching grass games. It gives more of that Premier League vibe, getting more of that close and feel. When it's wet out, you can watch the players slide and really get after it onto the pitch, So I'm very excited to see that. Definitely interesting matchups I'm happy to watch is that Howard and Hampton game. As I mentioned earlier, that Wiley versus Arkansas Piney Bluff. And then definitely trying to see if Texas Southern can keep moving on with this record of 1-0. Congrats on the undefeated. Up next, we are going to go over the men's upcoming matches. Now, if y'all didn't know, in the HBCU soccer space, this is a woman-dominated field. So there are about 30 women's soccer teams in HBCU college space, but there's only about 10 to 11 men's clubs, if I'm correct. And with that, their games in the early season aren't going to be as frequent compared to that women's side. So once we pull up the men's upcoming matches, you'll see that it is a smaller amount, but it is also very interesting as we are going into this beginning season for the men's. So you see FMU is also going up against Florida National as well, repping onto that Florida side, hoping to see if FMU can dominate in that tropical sector. Also, I see Howard versus Delaware. We are very interested to see how Howard is going to step foot in this first coming season. I see here that Paul Quinn is going up against Mid-American Christian. That will be Paul Quinn's first men's game under the books. Very excited to see how they come out this season after watching their season last year. Had some interesting games and some good challenges under their foot. So I'm very excited to see that. Also, as well, you see William Woods, that they will be competing against Harris Stowe. We are hoping to see Harris Stowe pull through on that first side. Just looking to see how these men's come up. If y'all didn't know, Wiley did win the championship last year. And just seeing schools later on throughout these next coming weeks, see how they compete against that. Here at HBCU FC, we are going to be very transparent in posting the matches, results, and the scores. So please stay updated. Tune into our social accounts such as our Instagram and our websites to keep up to date with that, please drop in the chat which school you are excited to see the most. I am definitely on the men's side interested in Florida Memorial. I want to see how they turn out on this new season. I got to see some of their recruits, so I'm definitely interested in who they are going to be going up against. Let's now cue into what I was talking about earlier. Let us roll the HBCU FC classic video. I just want to show y'all a little bit of that tournament of what we did earlier, just showing y'all what is to coming again later on in this next April. Again, this tournament is something that we want to provide ongoingly, yearly for HBCU community, trying to bring together some of that culture and tradition within the HBCU sectum. Soccer, again, biggest sport in the world, but you see a lack of exposure in news and any type of information when it comes to soccer and HBCUs. Hope everyone is doing well this morning. Oh, looks like we got it queued up. Let's roll the clip. Wow, just pure joy and celebration and just true festival in the moment, Here at HBCU FC, we want to provide that culture ongoingly. And all that takes is just for people like you tuning in to watch our live stream, staying up to date on our websites, and just keeping up on our Instagrams for updates. Really bring stuff like that to life. So thank you to anybody who was attending the classic. If you were a player or a fan, please drop in the chat. What was your favorite moment about that? For me personally, my favorite moment was watching the 1v1. We got to see these players bring out the creative side. Up next, now we are about to get into something that is very interesting. It is the first ever HBCU Power 11 rankings. Yes, y'all, the first ever HBCU Power 11 rankings. Now, if you did not know, in the HBCU soccer space, no one has ever done a soccer rankings before for HBCU specifically. And the main question is, who is playing the best soccer in HBCU soccer right now? If you didn't know, our HBCU rankings are based off of our proprietary system known as the HBCU FC Power Index, also known as HPI. Our HPI is our proprietary system, and it considers basically the on-field performance, quality of competition, quality results, and just also within the soccer landscape of who these HBCUs are playing. Obviously, these HBCUs are coming in different conferences, playing against different players. So it shows the comparison with who they're playing within their conference compared to the HBCU and their players who they're playing. Also, huge shout out to M&F Bank for being a proud sponsor. They've helped us fuel our first HBCU Classic and is able to provide moments like this, just like our live stream. Now, if y'all did not know, this first power rankings for the men's season, as you can see here, we have Wiley University up at number 1. They had a very great season last year. I mentioned earlier that they did win the championship. So they were also able to provide that ongoing movement throughout the season. Up next, you see University of Louisiana, Xavier, Louisiana, with a 78.8 rating. Their men's team also had a wonderful, great start to their season. Up next, you got UDC as well, going in at 64.8. Wow, guys, these rankings are very, very, very close. And I will explain again, these were based off of the on-field performance and the quality of competition that was there last season. These are preseason results only, so these will not be expected throughout. These will be ongoing and will be changing throughout the season. Once the season starts, the 2026 results will start taking over. As you can see, you have at Harris Stowe at number 4, and then coming in at number 5, you have Florida Memorial. Over here, you have these bottom half schools who will be competing, working hard as they can to move throughout the top to the very top. But you see Wiley starting off at that very top. We see Paul Quinn is here at the bottom on the scale, and then you see that there is actually a tie between these schools as well. So with our performance indicators, it'll be very nice because let's say that there is a tie between schools, between goals. It can be the wins, draws, or the losses. Our HPI index will be able to determine which team scales or if they are at the same number platform, and they will be at a tied rank. As you see here, Talladega and Jarvis Christian are both at that same spot. Please drop in the chat what school you want to see go to that number 1. Let's now go into that women's side of the rankings. Wow. This is insane. Very interesting powers rankings breakdown, We're trying to figure out who's number 1 and why. These are just based off of the strongest resumes, quality results, and teams that were rising quickly. So if you think your team is ranked too low, there's a pretty easy solution to this. Move up the rankings. So as you can see here on the women's side, you have Xavier of Louisiana. I'm going to start using the term Xula or Zula if you are tuning into my streams. So Zula was at number 1. As you can also see, Grambling State is coming in right there at that number 2. Grambling State had a wonderful season as well. as they were able to get really close up there into the tournament as well, having a wonderful season. But Xavier did take home that ring. Coming in at number third, I see Talladega coming up. Talladega is showing a very strong resume. I didn't know too much about Talladega at first, but after doing some research, I've seen that Talladega is here not to mess around. Up next, you see here we got Howard at number 4. Same as I was mentioning before, looking into Howard, I'm very excited to see how their first season goes off coming into this new 2026. And then you had number 5 for the women's side of Wiley University. Now, trust me, y'all, do not sleep on this Wiley side, as their women are here to compete, and they had a very good start to their season as well. Again, these rankings are preseason rankings, so these are based off of what happened throughout last season and a little sprinkle of the spring season. Again, we are running off of that HPI index, so these are analyzed precisely to a T to understand. On this bottom half, you see here we have Hampton coming in at the bottom. Again, do not sleep on Hampton, though, as I'm excited to see how they take on into this upcoming season. Again, if you are free this Saturday at the Audi Fields, the HBCU Invitational is happening with Hampton going up against the number 4 seed Howard. Coming up right there, is Paul Quinn as well. So these schools all have something to fight for this year, and I know some of these top teams are definitely looking to keep their spot. All right, y'all. So just to go into a couple more things, hopefully the stream hasn't been too long of your day. I want to talk a little bit about what is coming up in this upcoming season. So if you are watching this live stream right now, this exact moment, drop in the chat, I am watching. You are hearing some very good information. HBCU FC is actually about to be going on what we call the HBCU FC Match Day Tour. One thing we don't want to do is cover HBCU soccer completely from behind the desk. We're going to be out going to campuses and matches throughout the season with the HBCU FC Match Day Tour. This is pretty exciting for us on the HBCU FC side, as we've been planning frivolously on how we can come out to these schools. We want to be able to be on site covering y'all's season, going up to date, keeping up with stats, talking to the players, getting college day in the life, just being in the mix for these schools. So just visiting some of these HBCU programs, visiting them in person, trying to capture that match day atmosphere while also getting that behind the scenes content, showing the culture, and also bringing the viewers closer to soccer. So when you see HBCU FC pulling up this campus this season, that is what we are here to do. And honestly, who wouldn't want to come be on site with us at HBCU FC? So if you are a player or alumni and you see us there on site, don't be scared. Say what's up to us. We'll be having gear and stuff on site. Say hi to our team. Say hi to our friends. As you can see here that we have some match days coming up. We will be going to Shaw University on September 13th to watch the Johnson and Wales game. We'll be on site. We'll be here at Shaw. We'll be on campus. We'll have our camera crew out there filming, getting content, being able to engage within that community. I'm so excited, y'all. Super, super excited. So just to kind of tell y'all what to expect from us throughout this HBCU FC season, this is episode 1, so this is really just the beginning. As you can also see, we will also be going to see Allen as well for the match day tour too. We'll be going there as well to Shaw. I'm excited for Shaw, as again, we are from the Greensboro side of North Carolina. So Shaw is not too far from us up there in the Raleigh-Durham area. about an hour out from us. So I'm very excited to watch them. But as I was mentioning earlier, so yes, with HBCU FC, we're very excited just because this is our first episode. So really, this is just the beginning. Our goal is to have weekly HBCU FC Show episodes going over some of the scores and the results, going over upcoming matches, and also just going over those rankings as we saw earlier. These were the first ever HBCU FC Power Rankings, y'all. It's only the beginning. Match day tour features, player team features, interviews, insights, highlights, social media content, soccer news, up-to-date player spotlights. We got it all. So if you are watching this first episode, we appreciate you at the beginning. Be sure to follow us on our platforms at HBCU_FC and subscribe to our YouTube, HBCU_FC, also known as HBCU FC TV, to keep up with us throughout the week. If there is a team, a player, a game, or a story we need to know about, text us, call us, email us, DM us, write a letter to us, mail us, do whatever you can ASAP. We want to know, y'all, so please, this was a pleasure for me. I'm going to say thank you again. If y'all do not know, my name is Raymond Brooks. So tune in again. I would love to see y'all again. Drop in the chat what was your favorite part about this, and we will see you later. Welcome to HBCU FC TV. Y'all have a good one. Woo! Yo, if you're still on the chat right now, tell me your favorite part of the stream.